Welcome to another episode of the Brown Bostonian Show. I'm your host, Kevin Parrington Turner, and I am back. It's been a couple of weeks, but no worries because we are here. It's been a lot of sports going on. My favorite time of the year because March Madness is coming up. Super Bowl happened. A lot has happened. As I predicted, Eagles won. I didn't expect it to be a blowout like it was, but they did it nonetheless because I know sports. I say it all the time. And that's why people need to check in. So please, if you see this video, like, subscribe, share, do everything you can. I appreciate the people that do watch it. And it's gonna grow. It's gonna take a minute, but I'm definitely here for it. And I appreciate y'all for the journey. And thank you for tuning into the vlogs, the articles, the blogs on my own site, on the APP, battle rap, everything. I appreciate it. Gonna keep dropping things all year. Nonetheless, let's get into it. Tonight, the Celtics, they beat the Trailblazers 128-118. Derek White and Pritchard combined for 84 points. It was a showcase. They hit a bunch of threes. Pritchard, 10 threes. White, 9 threes. Jaylen Brown had 18. And earlier, a couple of games ago, the Celtics were a little bit on a little losing skid, and now they'll be able to bounce back. And what's making this more impressive is Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, and Porzingis were all out. So you had Sam Hauser step up as well. You had a lot of guys step up. Al Horford, everyone did their job. Everyone did their part. Tatum had a shoulder injury. Holiday had a finger injury that he's still coming from, and Porzingis had an illness. Hope they're all will be able to get better soon. I know Tatum's not isn't expected to be that bad, and holidays as well. So we're here, man, and I the trail as far as the games go, I don't care too much about the game about the Trailblazers, a Western team that's not really gonna make the playoffs. And Fernie Simmons, 30 points. He led the Trailblazers, but they're under 500 points. They're under 500 for the record, and the Celtics they're carrying on. They're truggling along through the finish line of the regular season. At this point, it's going to be a lot of injuries. Kyrie Irving got hurt. He tore his ACL. Dagger for the Dallas fans. I feel for him. I really do. To have someone that you trade for, Anthony Davis, and he has a midsection injury, and now Kyrie Irving's out for the season, and you have a older Klay Thompson, and you have Luka Doncic, who is looking very good as time progresses, coming back off of injury with LeBron James and the Lakers, and they're surging, and now they're looking like an actual contender, which I think they are. I said that when the trade happened. I feel for the Dallas fans, man. It's tough. It's really tough. It's hard. I don't know. To this day, the trade is interesting. I just wouldn't have made it, but it is what it is. And now here we are. The Lakers are looking good. LeBron James looks like he has some like rejuvenation within the season, within his time, his tenure with the Lakers. And it's interesting to see. It's a really great story in sports. Luka Doncic is one of the best in the league. And now they shook things up. The league has just shaken up. They shook shit up in the NBA. So here though, but the Celtics have still just been continuing to get back to who they are. In the middle of the season, they were struggling, and I was covering it. And every week, each week, they struggled. They got some wins, but then they got some losses. Right when they started hot during the season, and then fatigue started to set in. Now injuries are starting to set in. It's still the same kind of issues where it's just injuries. The top five players: Porzingis, White, Tatum, Brown, Holiday, haven't been able to play on the court that much this season. And it's not nothing to worry about. They're the reigning champs, they're the defending champs. So most of the part, it's just about whether they can get going in the right time, which is the playoff time, which is the first round. Because I don't see anyone in that Eastern Conference taking on the Celtics except for the Cavaliers. The Knicks have shown time and time again that they don't belong there. The Cavs did beat the Celtics, and that was during that losing skid. But the Celtics, they're looking great. They're looking great. I think this win, even though I'm not going to say too much about the Trail Blazers, like it wasn't like an impressive team. I think the fact that you got Pritchard, who's making his case stronger and stronger for the Sixth Man of the Year award, I don't think it's even a question. But we still have some games to go, and you got Derek White, 41 points. He's a catch and shoot guy, and he plays great defense. and he steps up when it's needed. Jaylen Brown still at 18, so I respect it. I respect it, man. Next up, Celtics have the Sixers tomorrow, and I said on the blog, like, it's time for them to pack it up. They did pack it up, and he's done. He's done. Maxey, he's a young player. I think it's time to just follow Maxey, trade and B for whoever you can get, and let Maxey be the guy and get some players around him. It's done for the Sixers. It was just bad from the start. The trust the process years ago just hasn't worked. Ben Simmons I don't even know what team he's on now. He's been going from this place to this place to this place. Paul George, he stopped doing his podcast because he wants to focus on the season because it hasn't gone the way he should. And I think that's a whole nother discussion of NBA players doing podcasts within the season. I love it. I like when Draymond Green did it, just to show like when guys are like in a hotel in a different city, kind of describing the game and how it went. I loved it. But I know it gets tough. And you face a lot of criticism when you start losing. And the Sixers have been losing. But I don't think the Celtics should take this next game for granted because it is an Eastern Conference team. And I think against Eastern Conference teams, you need to make a statement. You want to get going because right after that, you got the Lakers at home, 2 home games in a row, back to back, Saturday night. Luka, LeBron James are coming to the Garden. I can almost guarantee you I don't see Jason Tatum missing that game. Porzingis, maybe. Holiday, maybe. I don't care about that. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, as long as Derek White's there, Payton Pritchard's there, Al Horford's there. It's a game. It's an important game, and the rivalry is back for the Celtics and the Lakers. That's just a fact. That's just a fact, and I love it. If you gotta love basketball. If you love basketball, you love the Lakers and Celtics because now look, these are 2 contenders that I think are probably going to be in the championship. You never know. I'm not doubting the Cavs. I'm not doubting the Thunder. I'm not doubting even the Warriors. I do doubt the Rockets a little bit. I think they're a year before their time. But the West, the Lakers got it, man. They're looking very, very, very in chemistry. They're looking good. So these next 2 games for the next week is going to be interesting. I can't wait for that Saturday night game. It's going to be all over ESPN. They're going to be talking about it. No matter who wins, it's going to be. If Lakers win, the story is going to be LeBron James and Luka. Are they real contenders now? Should they be the favorites? They just be the defending champs. And if it's the Celtics, it's still going to be the same thing. Who's the guy that stepped up? It was a close game. Should the Celtics be worried? They're going to find some story around it. But that's the game. Saturday night. Get in tune for that one. That's it for Around the League. Yeah, and shout out to the Mavericks fans. I feel for y'all, man. This stuff is rough. It's rough. Next, we got the NFL Combine. I was able to watch some clips of it and see a couple of things, and I think the biggest story is like Shedeur Sanders. He was at the Combine. I haven't seen clips of him. I don't think he's participating in it. But the biggest thing is teams have expressed no names on it that Shedeur is coming off as arrogant. And I can see that. I can see where they get it from, but it's just confidence. And I think anytime you get black quarterbacks, there's a stigma to it where I think coaches and GMs expect a quarterback to act a certain way because you only get 32. There's only 32 starting jobs around the league. And I think for a guy who's didn't win a national championship, didn't make it to the playoffs, it's how good, we know he's good, but how good is he really? I think he's great. I think he's a top 3 pick. I don't even think it's a question. I think it should be the number 1 pick. But anytime when it comes to athletes being called arrogant and they're a person of color, I don't like it because it comes with a certain sting on it. But in the same case, that same league, that same company profits off of it like no other. And a bunch of other companies profit of it, which whether it's a shoe deal, whether it's you see them in commercials for a new burger, for Taco Bell, for Burger King, You put them the face of the stadium, especially if they're playing good. They love arrogant players when things are going good. So I don't. I just I you know I don't really like it when players get called arrogant and they just get called like they're full of themselves, like because he's a top pick. He knows what he wants. He's not just there. He's not just happy to be there. Going to want to accept any team. And I know it's rare, and you can say what you want about it. You can hate it, love it, but if you know who you are, you know who your dad is, Deion Sanders. You know what you're able to do. Yeah, believe in yourself. Next as well, Travis Hunter playing two sports. I mentioned it in my blog. I mentioned it probably here. I mentioned it before. I think he can play two sides. I said two sports, two sides of the ball, play defense and offense. I think he's mainly a cornerback, a defensive back that could play wide receiver. Joe Klatt on Fox, love his show. Shout out to him. He mentioned it, and I agree with him. I think he plays mostly defense. He's a starting defensive back, no question about it. And I think that's a little bit more valuable at a lot of times. And I think at best he's a second, third wide receiver. I don't think he's the number one wide receiver in the NFL. As good as he is, as great as he is, as great of catches he can make and great route running, a lot of it's just athletic ability and feel for the game, which you can't teach. You can't teach it. So he's special, man. He is. And I think whoever picks him, and I hope it's the Patriots, but I don't think he'll still be on the board by then. I wonder if he'll be the first pick between him, Shador, or Cam Ward. And guess who has the fourth pick? The freaking New England Patriots, right outside that. Which brings me to the Patriots have the fourth pick. DK Metcalf, free agent now. And the Patriots need wide receivers. Now, if Travis Hunter is still on the board around draft time, then yeah, you got to pick him because it's a 2-for-1. Patriots need a bunch of things fixed. And you get a guy who can do 2-for-1 at once, and a guy who wants to do 2-for-1 at once. He wants to. That's the biggest thing. I don't think he gets paid anymore if he plays two sides of the ball, but he wants to, and he wants to just win, and he wants to change the game. And I think the Patriots are the perfect place to do that for so many reasons. One is like in New England, if you're playing good, we love you. We're behind you. If you want to win, we're behind you. It's not about and I think his personality fits New England. He just wants to play football. He cares about his family. He cares about fishing, living a simple life, and playing football. It fits New England. It fits him. Hard work pays off, and having a fan base behind you, it's the perfect match. Now, I don't think he will be still on the board by the fourth pick. Unfortunately, that's how special this guy is. He might be number one. I don't think the Patriots need a quarterback. So therefore, I think an offensive lineman or even a defensive lineman, but most likely an offensive lineman for Drake May, because last year the Patriots didn't have one to the point where that's why Jacoby Brissett mainly started the season. Yeah, he's a veteran, but it's also like we knew he was going to be running for his life, and we don't want to see Drake May get hurt. Because we know what that can do to a quarterback early in his career as soon as he steps on the field, especially game one, and you're going to be criticized and critiqued every week. Yeah, just let him learn. Let him stay on the sideline. Middle of the season, we bring him in. We see what he can do. And he made some great plays. He had some great games. He could run it. He could pass it. He just needs a little bit better line. And then when he is able to run it, it's not as much, but it could hurt defenses. And imagine if he had a great wide receiver. Obviously, if Hunter's not there, I think DK Metcalf, you got to go after them. You got to. I know the Patriots aren't used to it. They don't really go after good wide receivers in the free agent market, or they don't really give them that much money. The same thing happened with DeAndre Hopkins. But I think this is one of those times where you got to do it. You got to make something happen, especially for the skilled players. Drake May can't be the only one there. He has no help. And now every week we're just killing Drake May, but in reality, he has no help. But I do think the absence of Bill Belichick not being there, and now it's a whole new look, not Gerard Mayo. And you already know how I feel about that situation. But now with Vrabel, I think we can make it happen. I think we can make it happen. I hope we do. I hope we get something figured out on the offensive side. If it's an offensive lineman as our pick, so be it. If it's Travis Hunter, I know everyone in New England is going to be happy about it. Going to rave about it. The league's going to more eyes are going to be on him, and I think it should. A quarterback that's pretty much in his second season, is pretty much in his rookie season, but really his second season, and a rookie Heisman winner, wide receiver slash defensive back who wants to play both sides, who wants to do whatever it takes to win, and have a bunch of young guys and a new head coach and relatively new front office. I think it's the perfect match. It's the perfect place for him. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what Jacksonville picks. I think they have to pick a quarterback, right? I saw on the Fox Sports show that, you know, you got to pick someone said you got to pick Travis Hunter and just see who you can get off free agency. See if you can get Russell Wilson off of free agency. But I hope that's not the case. I would love to see Hunter still on the board, but it is what it is, man. Wherever he goes, he's going to be a great player. I really do. He's special. Hopefully, he stays away from injury. I know playing both sides can be in the NFL can be very physical and can hurt you, especially for 17, 18 weeks at a time. And sometimes you got a Thursday night game, and then you got a Monday game. That Monday game, you got a Sunday game right after. It can be tough, and it's across the country. It's hard, and you still got practice. You still got meetings. It's hard. I know he takes good care of his body, but man, it's tough. It's really tough. But that's it for football, man. I'm gonna get into the Gervonta Davis Lamont Roach fight Saturday. It happened in Brooklyn. Dipset walked out. Gervonta take Davis. It was a lot of people filled up that spot. I was at home. I was not taking the train down there. By the time the fight ended, I was not getting home because the last train is at 1 a.m. I don't even want to get into that because I'm out here in Jersey, not even in the city in Jersey, so I can't take the PATH train. I got to take the long train. The long train out to the shore, to the beach. Last one's at 1 a.m. So I didn't go. I don't even think I would have went still. But that's one of my goals too, to cover a boxing match like that at that degree. I've covered some boxing matches, but a prize fight, I want to. Nonetheless, the Lamar Roach, Gervonta Tank Davis, Tank no longer unblemished. He's 30-0 and 1. It was ruled a draw. One judge ruled it 115, 113 in favor of Gervonta, and the rest ruled it 114, 114. It was a draw, majority draw. And a lot of people are saying Tank wasn't his best, and Lamont Roach was robbed. Tank took a knee in the 9th round, and the referee did not rule it a knockdown. He did not count. He started counting, and then Tank said he got something in his eye. He walked over to his corner, got a towel, wiped on his eye, told the referee, said, it looks like a knockdown when you do it, so don't do that again. He said, okay. Wasn't ruled a knockdown, and therefore the fight continued, and nothing happened. I do think it was a mess up on the referee's part, but I'm not a referee, so I just want to get that part out the way. Because I know I get it. Yes, it was a knockdown. You can't do that. Because it wasn't, if he's backing up and he takes a knee, I still think you kind of do got to count, but I know it could be a little weird rules, especially like in the amateurs. It's not the amateurs. This is a professional fight, but I know, the rules can be weird. If it's not off of a punch, something can happen. You tell the ref, and then the ref will let the fight continue. Boxing has, there's a lot of leeway when it comes to boxing, especially with the judges and scores. So nonetheless, man, I think Tank wasn't his best self leading up to the fight. I've been watching the interviews. He didn't do a media workout either. Lamar Roach, he seemed focused. And Gervonta Tank, he was doing interviews, but he just seemed more at peace. He seemed like he said he was going to retire. He's going to do only a couple of fights after this. He seemed more like trying to figure out a lot of other stuff in life. And he's been fighting for a long time. You gotta remember, these dudes, like, before they're pro fighters, were 30 fights. And mind you, they only fight 3 times a year, 4 times a year. They were amateurs. Damn near grown men amateurs, and also like teenagers as amateurs and kids as amateurs, taking a lot of punishment to their head, doing a lot of traveling, a lot of sweating, a lot of losing weight, gaining weight. It's tough. A lot of time away from family. It's rough. It is rough. And he looked like he was kind of at the point where, like, man, I got the money. been taking punishment. His vocabulary, his verbal ability is still there, but you can tell it's not the tip top shape. Um, and I think was just not fully prepared. Now, Calvin Ford wasn't in his corner in this fight, which was like a question mark to me. I got off the phone with my barber. I always talk back in Boston. I always talk boxing with him. He said Tank wasn't able to cut off the ring for Roach. And I agree, but one thing we both agreed on was Roach's jab was just too much for him. He couldn't get past it. Tank wasn't able to get past the jab. In the beginning of rounds, Tank usually starts off a little bit slow, trying to figure out the opponent, get this timing right, get his strength down, and see if he has how much power he has. How he reacts to this, how he reacts to certain feints. Get some body shots going to slow him down in the later rounds. And I did think he out of the 1, 2, 3. I think Roach took 2 of them, maybe 3 of them. But there was one. I do remember there was a round where Roach kind of left it up for debate. I still think I gave it to Roach, but I think towards the middle of the round, Gervonta Davis was just like taking over the fight as he usually seems to do, where the body punches start adding up, the counter punches start adding up. He starts getting into the phone booth with him. He starts cutting off the ring a little bit, and he starts really chopping him down with some sharp punches. Not even really combinations, but some sharp punches. And that's what was happening. He was taking the middle rounds to me. The fight started to go how you kind of expected to go. But then, I don't know what it was. I believe it was like, maybe it was the 9th round when he took the knee. But that jab, Roach's jab was just too much. And he started to take the later rounds. He took the 12th round easily. He took the 12th round. And I think the 11th and the 10th, I think it was up for debate. So I personally saw how it could be a draw. I definitely can. If you want to say Roach won, I'm not mad. If you say it was a robbery, you're crazy. He was not robbed. He didn't just completely take over the fight. If you want to say he edged it, I believe you. If you want to say Tank edged it, I'm not going to completely argue with you, but it wasn't his best fight. Nonetheless, they say it was a rematch. Tank, he tweeted, said he wants a rematch as soon as late May. Those matches, that's a little too close. I think just on the business side, but I could be wrong. I think a summer fight would be perfect for both of them. And it would be a lot of people that one. It would be a lot of people in that one. If a rematch does happen, I can't wait to see it because I do like what Roach did. He put everyone on notice. He put the world on notice. And for him to be from DC and Tank to be from Baltimore, there was a lot of mutual respect there. I think a little bit too much respect from Tank, but they've been fighting since the amateurs as kids. So they know each other. They know each other's families. So I think, and that also plays a part too. I think Tank was kind of like, this is a lookout for a guy who deserves a shot. And he got the shot and he made the most of it. Roach did. So, but I love that this is both 2 black fighters from the town. Like you can hear the crowd. Like they in there. They in there. Whether they going for Tank, whether they going for Roach, you best believe if the rematch happens, there's gonna be more of them in there going for Roach or going for Tank. It's gonna be a lot of talking. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for it. I'm not from neither, but I would love that. And I hope it's in Brooklyn or I hope it's in one of their neighborhoods. I really do, because that would be a great fight. It would be great for television, great for the lead up. I know there's a lot of mutual respect there, so it's not going to be too much shit talking, too much disrespectful talk, but I hope a rematch happens, man. And I hope this puts a fire under Tank and for him to keep going. It wasn't a loss. It wasn't a loss. And also, I know the people who are very much Floyd Mayweather fans, or because I am, always, he doesn't. Now that Tank has a blemish on his record, it doesn't take anything away from him. Roach has a loss on his record. He has a tie on his record as well. Now he has a tie on his record as well. I think he has 2 on his record now. Excuse me. I gotta double check that one. I think he had a tie going into this, but maybe he didn't. But he definitely had a loss going to the fight. But nonetheless, I'm excited for it. I love it. I like to see more black fighters get more praise, and I love to see boxing really take over. Keyshawn Davis, he had a great fight a week before. Saw that fight. He was amazing. I want to see him get a shot. Shakur Stevenson, can't wait for him. I saw a new card of Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Lopez, all of them on one card. That's going to be amazing. I can't wait for that one. I'm going to give my predictions when we get closer to it. But nonetheless, man, love boxing, love to talk about it. I'm glad it was another big fight that people care about because I think the sport of boxing is amazing. I know UFC, MMA is always kind of rising up and it's taking over boxing a little bit, but I still love boxing so much. I really do. I appreciate it. Love boxing, love football, love basketball. So I appreciate everything, man. I'm still trying to be more consistent, more vlogs. It's been kind of crazy with playoffs and college basketball. So I've been running around doing a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna be more consistent. I appreciate everyone who looked out, who's watching, who's sharing, subscribing, liking the videos, commenting. I appreciate all of it, bro. I really do. I appreciate it. And I will see y'all soon. And until next time, peace.